thought you could get rid of me in this place. But instead, you simply turned me into you.
Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the 3-Minute Horror Show. My name is Ben, your host, and I love horror movies. In fact, I watch the bad movies so that you don't have to. You're welcome. Today I'll be reviewing the movie Psycho Girls from 1986. A woman who's been locked up in an institution for killing her parents when she was a child escapes with the help of 2 other inmates.
Yikes!
Then the trio captures the sisters' employers and their friends and subjects them to a deadly night of fun and games.
Wow!
This movie was written and directed by Toronto-based Canadian filmmaker Jerry Ciccariti, who's been making movies for approximately 4 decades. Do you want to know something else he directed? And you're not going to believe this. Wait for it. The guy who directed this movie also directed Hot Frosty. Psycho Girls is not currently streaming here in Canada. This story is narrated by one of the most film noir, hard-boiled movie detective type guys ever. He's a writer, and I believe he used to be a PI or something. Anyways, that's not important right now. The story he tells us starts in the late 1960s as a little girl wakes her parents up on their 11th anniversary with pancakes. What a nice little girl. Oops, not really, because these pancakes were laced with rat poison. She kills her parents, and she's put into a mental hospital under very poor conditions. We jump forward into the 1980s. Hot Frosty. Wow. Can you believe that? Can you believe that I've reviewed Hot Frosty? A movie about a sexy snowman that comes to life to romance Lacey Chabert? Well, I have, and here was my final verdict. I'll leave a link to my Letterboxd review in the description of this video, but ultimately, despite the fact that it had strong guest roles played by Craig Ferguson and Jolo Trulio from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Katie Mixon from Eastbound and Down, and the legendary Lauren Holly, this movie could not be rescued from its own mediocrity. I gave it a 4 out of 10. But how will this movie, Psycho Girls, fare? You'll have to wait to find out. Now we're in the home of Mr. Hardboiled himself and his wife, and it's their 11th anniversary. They wake up at the early hour of 1 p.m., and their housekeeper, who also happens to be the sister of the girl who killed her parents in the 60s, is preparing their dinner party meal. Writer guy goes out to meet a producer who wants to buy one of his stories, and the missus goes out to do errands. While they're gone, the housekeeper gets a call on the phone. Her sister has escaped custody at the mental hospital, and she wants to meet up. Foolishly, the housekeeper goes to meet her crazy sister. Here's a little trivia about Psycho Girls that I dug up. The mental hospital scenes were filmed at Lakeshore Psychiatric Facility, just outside of Toronto in Canada. This is the same building that housed the Police Academy in the first Police Academy movie, and the mental hospital from Strange Brew, starring the Mackenzie brothers. Director-writer Jerry Ciccariti is one of the founding members of the Buddies in Bad Times Theater Group, which is the longest-running queer theater company in the entire world. Psycho Girls was filmed in 11 days and had a budget of $18,000. And finally, Darlene Magnacio, who plays our villain Sarah Tusk, is a practicing psychiatrist. Sarah, the crazy escapee, kills her sister Victoria and heads back to Victoria's place of work, the writer's house. Back at the house, writer guy and his wife decide to have a workout contest that turns into the sweatiest sex scene in the history of film. Gross. Sarah arrives at the door shortly thereafter and claims that her sister was called away, but she's there to handle the dinner party. Sarah prepares them some steak tartare, which is actually ground up Victoria laced with sleeping pills. When the boorish guests wake up, Sarah has them captive, tied up, and ready to take part in a sadistic game of torture and death that she runs with her 2 escapee friends, one of whom looks an awful lot like Freddie Mercury. This movie was quite something. It was definitely weird, and it had a quality that I couldn't quite put my finger on until I found out that it was Canadian made. That was it. Canadian and from the 80s. You can just tell sometimes.
Bruh.
My pal Jeff and I might dig a bit deeper into this movie on our show Bottom of the Barrel, so stay tuned for that. Super weird, pretty funny in spots, and there was definitely some gore too. This one was a fun surprise. I rate Psycho Girls a 7 out of 10. As always, a link to my Letterboxd appears in the video's description. Please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really does boost my engagement, helps my channel grow. Smell you later, nerds!
These bedbug loonies had nothing left to lose, so they played for the highest stakes.